Hey, it's Jessica DaMassa with WTF Health. I am here at AHIP's Consumer Experience and Digital Health Forum, and joining me right now, I have Johnny Cupcakes, which is like the most fun name in the world to say. He is the founder of a multi-million-dollar t-shirt company, and he was speaking here at the AHIP conference and talked a lot about what healthcare companies need to do to build a better brand and customer experience. So, Johnny, what are your tips? What do we need to do in healthcare? I mean, you've got a brand people love, and people line up outside your t-shirt bakeries for your shirts. They've got your logo tattooed on them in various places. So what do we do? How do we make people fall in love equally with healthcare brands?
Well, I think, anytime you could be transparent and share your story. Everybody has a story. I was mentioning earlier, my t-shirt stores, they look and smell like bakeries, but we sell no food. We display t-shirts in refrigerators. We package them up like pastry boxes and to-go food. It does make a lot of hungry people angry, but it gives everybody a story to share, and it gives them a feeling to remember, a feeling of wonderment. And anytime you can share your story, it helps people, it breaks down the barriers of big, scary, cold corporation, which it's okay, and you should be proud to build a big corporation, but to make people feel warm in such a sterile environment, and in a sometimes cold or mysterious environment, if something's going on with their family.
Yeah, I mean, it's complicated. Healthcare is so complicated, which is why it's like, we kind of need your input here, because I mean, it's difficult to unpack. So you said a bunch of different things there, which I think are really good. And so I want to just, dive in on these. Sure. So, I mean, okay, so, people want to feel things. They want to feel good. They want to feel welcome. They want to feel warm. They don't want to feel intimidated. They don't want to feel like they're not heard. So it's like, as far as advice about how to do that, I mean, it's cool. I mean, you're selling something really fun, which is awesome. And it's challenging, but it's not impossible when it's something like healthcare. So what are your tips? Like, what are some of the things that maybe we could learn from you about how you make your experience warm and fun? What are some of the things that you do? So
obviously there's a lot of red tape in healthcare, and I'm in a very different industry, but we're all working with people and finding ways to make people want to continue to do business with us. We want people to talk about us. We want to get free advertising and marketing. We all want to make people happy. And if we can find a way to touch on all those points in any industry, it's great. If I'm purchasing a refrigerator and I have to buy it from 1,000 different vendors that are all selling the same thing to me, the one vendor that is telling me that it's a family-run business, or that shows some photos of the history of their brand, I am more likely to give them my money because I feel they're making me feel something. Okay. So
I think that's interesting, because it's like, I mean, what you're talking about here is really like, how do you connect with people when you're selling a commodity? I mean, because you are selling a commodity. I mean, it's a t-shirt. Somebody can go to any retailer and get a t-shirt for as little as $5. And your shirts, I mean, they're different. They've got cool designs on them, but you're charging $35 a shirt. So what commands that premium price? And I think what you just said to me about in your refrigerator example is, having that connection with the brand behind and with the story.
And you do it through stories, because that adds so much more context and value to whatever it is that you do. I make sure when people go into my stores, they're reading a story as they're walking through the store, just in case my employees are too busy and something comes up and they can't tell them. Before today, most of the people in the audience didn't know what I did or who I am. They didn't care, and that's okay. And they probably said at the beginning of my talk, who is crazy enough to wait in line for a t-shirt? More than 75% of them are still waiting in line for t-shirts as we speak. So they heard the story, and it turned my simple t-shirt into something more valuable and exciting, and they now have stories to share. You can do that with any industry. You can do that with service, and you could do that with your personality too. Maybe there is a lot of red tape and you can't change the mission statement, and you can't put up more videos on the website or testimonials, but being thoughtful, even just changing up the quote that you put in the footer of your email, something positive, or sending some handwritten notes to your top clients. One example I shared is a couple years ago, I took 2 weeks off from work to work. And what I did was I wrote handwritten notes to all of my customers who've been with me the longest and customers who've spent the most amount of money.
Okay.
And I didn't just say, hey, thank you. I said, oh my God, you're from Long Island, New York, and that's where my wife's from. And did you know that they say coffee funny and they have the best delis in the world? But if
So
you
really creating that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I think is really important. I mean, people want to feel like, they're not just a number, and I think, as far as when it comes to something really personal, like health, I think what you said is interesting about telling that story. And I think that there's a lot of times we lose track in healthcare of the story because there's a lot of different people and there's a lot of different people contributing to the story. And the story
puzzle.
is like, it kind of weaves,
But you know what? With the story being scary and with the industry being so tangled and you can't just give someone a one-sentence answer of how much it's going to cost or who they're going to be talking to next week, you could still...
Or even who's going to be picking up their story, really. You might be talking to me now and I might refer you on.
Yep. But why not even just be honest about that? Say, hey, listen, I know this is a weird, messy world that you're in, and I know you're going through something serious at home. This is going to look like a puzzle, and these are going to be the pieces, but I promise you they will go together, and you can call us anytime. And here are some testimonials from the people who have been through it and came out on the other end. We try to do the best that we can, but this is just the way the industry is, and we're going to be here for you to guide you for the way. Maybe send them a puzzle. Maybe give them a map. You can put as much humor in as you can, but just be honest.
I love that.
It's going to be messy, but we're in business for a reason, and we're here to help you. Just breaking it down, being transparent, letting them know that you're there to help them.
No, I think that's really wise, and I think that we do as healthcare struggle with transparency quite a bit. So you made that sound so easy to do.
I know.
I like it.
And even if it's not, just be honest that it's not easy, or don't change anything except for some photos and a timeline and a history and embracing how long the organization's been around and why everybody chooses this organization and the service, and getting people to know that you have the stamp of approval from everybody else. Because you can only tell someone how cool you are and how great you are, but when they hear it from someone else who's been through it, it's even better. When I redesigned my store in Boston, I put testimonials in the windows. So people walking by, they now see that stamp of approval from someone else, and it makes it inviting.
No, that's awesome. These are great tips. I like that. It's a little bit of a leap. Right? For a lot of us, because we're really spread all over the ecosystem here, and it is like an ecosystem in healthcare. But I think there's a lot to be gained from just these simple tips about connecting with people, creating stories, being transparent, being honest, and then using some of those good positive reviews as an endorsement.
And ways to be human, right? Again, write handwritten notes to people. I know everyone's obsessed with sending out mass emails, which is great here and there, but if you just make it a goal, once a week to send out, a handful of notes to the people who have supported you the most or the people whose business you want to win over, they know that you're physically writing that. It's not cut and pasted or being abused through some sales software. It could be, it could put that human touch into it.
Yeah, it builds trust too.
It does. And then, of course, going to events like this, it's so important because you're meeting everybody in person and you're establishing new relationships and you're sharing failures and success and learning from other people's failures and success. So it's a great investment of your time. When you have your head down and you're not going out to events like this, you can kind of get stuck in the same rut. So it's a best investment in yourself. Even if you're not going to be at that organization for another year or two, you're still meeting new people within the industry that are trying to innovate.
Very cool. Johnny, thank you so much for stopping by and chatting with us. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm Jessica DaMassa with WTF Health here at AHIP's Consumer Experience and Digital Health Forum. Thanks for joining us.